Hey guys, I'm back, and it is the man that you've grown to know as Power Silver 101. For some reason, I chose that stupid name. I don't know, I'm stuck with it, but I will be changing formats, backgrounds, and going to a new YouTube channel. Basically, all I have to do, it's not going to be all that hard, is get a new email address and fucking start from scratch. So I will give the link to my new YouTube page very soon. But on this video, we're going to talk about UFC on Fox 5. I put the kids to bed early because there was some MMA on. Said I wasn't going to watch it, but it's MMA, so I watched it. And this card on paper to me did not look too appeasing. I said it in a previous video, we're getting watered down cards. And this fight, the fights on this card were 80% finishes and exceeded my expectations tenfold. However, I am extremely disappointed. Michael Johnson, fabulous job, by the way. I am extremely disappointed in Shane Roller. Man, what happened to Shane Roller in the WEC days? He was Jiu-Jitsu was just top notch, man, and his hands were only getting better. I don't know what happened to Shane Roller, but he's definitely fallen off the wagon. I hope he takes some time and gets his career back on track. But the biggest disappointment to me of the night was veteran Josh Neer. This guy, he's seen and done it all. Look at his record; it speaks for itself. He's fought in the IFL. He's fought in anywhere that would take him. I mean, this guy's fought for just a few $100s, and not even that long ago. You know, I mean, his return to the UFC was action packed. His fight against Nathan Diaz was incredible. But the last two fights, the knockout and then a 45-second submission, to a guy that I didn't know all that well until as of late. It's just, getting caught getting caught in the submission that early in the fight. I mean, it almost seems like he's not preparing anymore or underestimating his opponents a lot. This guy's a vet, and I'll back him 100%. He just needs to up his game a little bit. Working with the Diaz brothers and being a Miletich fighter for that long, he's had his, little demons like we all have. But, I think if he would just devote a little bit more time to evolving his game, especially, when it comes to not being so aggressive. He just seems to be this super aggressive fighter all of a sudden, and he's getting caught. So I'm disappointed at Josh Neer's fight. Even if he did lose, it went down like that. However, Jon Dodson, this guy, I feel, should get the next shot at the 125 title. I think he should get Mighty Mouse next. I mean, you saw his performance. Everybody was booing. The reason I think people were booing the 125 pounders, they weren't booing when Joseph Benavidez, the first flyweight fight that they had, the opening bell, the second round, he comes out and floors the Japanese guy. Excellent 125 pounder. Floors him with a knockout. Excellent. People were screaming their heads off, and then you get a 5-round decision, and people are saying that the flyweights suck. The flyweights don't suck, except that they're just so small and fast, and shit just happens so quick. And one of my buddies I like to watch. I'm sorry, I can't think of names. I'm no good with names today. But and Man Nuts. I watch them a lot. They're just chilled, laid back, and great. They have extensive knowledge, and their analyzation of the fights are just incredible. To see those two go back and forth and do it just so chilled, sit back drinking a beer with a monitor in between, and it's really cool to watch. Says that they don't like neither one of them like to watch the lightweight fights because of how fast they are and how hard they are to score and everything like that. I enjoy stuff like that, and it doesn't matter to me if it's going 5 rounds as long as the fight's going well and it's appeasing to the eye. As long as it's entertaining, and I know, believe me, I know how hard it is to train. I mean, I train boxing, I train jiu-jitsu, but never trained mixed martial arts. Never claimed I've ever I've never even come close to saying I want to even be in a mixed martial arts fight. I couldn't imagine the work I mean, the cardio alone kills me. Just the cardio alone. Boxing combinations are just really hard. I mean, my first year of boxing was I was confused the entire time. I was getting my chin hit. I was getting touched on the chin daily. In practice, until I got a little bit better. Ended up landing a job as a boxing instructor, and there was actually a couple women that came out of there. That started for me, and then ended up going to different boxing gyms. that are notable names in Pittsburgh today when it comes to the local boxing circuit. But moving on, Jon Dodson and Mighty Mouse Johnson make for a tremendous fight. People were booing, and I mean this guy scored a TKO knockout, in the second round, and people were booing the flyweights. I think it's just going to take some time to warm up. There's no real big high caliber names down there yet. Joseph Benavidez, of course, they do look tiny in that giant octagon. It's because they are tiny, but they can also kick your ass. So moving on, I mean, Jon Dodson, I give him the athleticism, but I definitely give the slipping that punch and ducking for the double leg and always getting it, seemingly always getting it to Mighty Mouse Johnson. The speed advantage for sure goes to Mighty Mouse, and who knows what happened in that fight. That fight, I know no one will be bored, and maybe some people would appreciate the lighter weight divisions. I just think that's an excellent matchup. That fight needs to happen. Moving on to the main event of the evening. One more quick thing about the boring co-main event, and I didn't expect it to be boring. I expected it to be. I had really high hopes for Jay Heron's comeback. I like Jay Heron. He's a vet. He's back to the UFC. Seemed motivated. Seemed strong. Seemed tough. We saw some spinning back fists, which I've never seen from him before. So he's obviously added more tools to his arsenal, and it came up short. He came up short, and I kind of got that feel that both of them are trying, but it's just. It's going to come out as a decision. And Jake Ellenberger, although he was outstruck 32-25, he still landed the takedowns and in my opinion, had the octagon control. And it was a fair deal, unanimous decision. Went to Jake Ellenberger. At any second, you never know what could happen with Ellenberger. Look what happened. The battle of the Jakes, Ellenberger and Shields. I still can't believe that happened. I hate to admit it, but Jake Shields was knocked out quick in the first round. I mean, it wasn't even the clock wasn't even on double digits yet. So, moving along, main event of the evening. I hope that we get to see Jay Heron again. There's no reason to cut him after one fight, especially after we saw, that he has more weapons, I think he needs a tune-up fight. Jake Ellenberger is, right now, top of the food chain fighter, man. He's only going to keep moving up. Until he challenges for that title, that guy's a man on a mission. Main event was Bigfoot Silva versus Travis Brown. This is how awesome our sport's getting. Our sport's getting so awesome that I saw him on a commercial with Norm Macdonald for Safe Auto wearing shirtless, wearing a cook's uniform and serving brownies. It was so cool to see that because, MMA really is starting to bust into the mainstream, and I can't wait until, like I always say, when my son's my age or when my son's in high school, I want him to talk about mixed martial arts just like we talked about football, or people talk about baseball, football, basketball on the daily. I think it's only going to get bigger from here, and it deserves to be. Look at it. It's definitely the most exciting sport in the world, and the fighters, it's definitely the most taxing. They're definite for sure bona fide athletes, and you got to respect that. When it came down to Brown and Silva, like I said before, anyone that has a stamp, a W over the best in the world to me that's ever happened in mixed martial arts so far, the late great, the last emperor, Fedor Emelianenko. If you have a W over that guy, you're a guy to be reckoned with. You're definite force to be reckoned with. It was a first round knockout and it was brutal. Some people say it was premature stoppage. I'm not going to say premature stoppage because it was only going to get worse. It was kind of like a John Jones, Vladimir Matyushenko situation where it wasn't like the fighter was completely out of it, but he's going to be unless the referee jumps in and stops it. I think he did. It was justified stoppage. And Bigfoot, he's a serious, people need to watch out for Bigfoot Silva because he's coming. He looked fantastic in Strikeforce. And his Octagon debut wasn't all that fantastic. It actually earned Cain Velasquez another shot at the title, but he's creeping on it. He's coming, and I see it happening. Maybe sometime next year. I keep talking about this new breed of fighters that include like John Hathaway, Rory McDonald, fighters like Dominic Cruz and his footwork and that crazy boxing. I don't like to watch it. I think it looks like he's dancing. I think he looks bad doing it, but people can't hit him. And when they take him down, he pops right back up. And he's got tools. He's got an incredible repertoire of weapons. He decisioned Uriah Faber. And anyone, again, it's a legend of the sport. Anyone who, holds a W over him, you have my respect, But Diego Nunes definitely is part of that new breed. And you know, there's always that one guy that I can't remember, but today I'm going to give him a shout out. Diego Nunes is definitely, I can see him challenging for the title someday. The only guy I've ever seen beat him, and this guy's a genius and retired way too soon, is Kenny Florian. Kenny Florian also stopped Clay Guida and stopped him beautifully. If you watch just how crisp that punch was, it just jumped on his back and choked him out. It was just fantastic to watch. Kenny Florian fought in 3 weight divisions and challenged for 2 titles in 2 different divisions. Came up short against Sean Shirk. 155, and I actually had him winning up until about the 3rd round against one of the best in the world, in Jose Aldo, 145. And you know, just Dana White calls him a choker. I don't think he's a choker. I just think, you know, it just wasn't his time. I think if he put, he's so smart and such a technical fighter. His Muay Thai's off the hook. He started off as just Jiu-Jitsu fighter, and again, he started off at 185 pounds on the Ultimate Fighter when he's really a 145 pounder. But it's up here. Kenny Florian is an incredibly smart fighter. He's talented. It seems like he has an endless gas tank. He always comes well prepared and gives it his all. I think he retired too soon. Diego Nunes, he didn't sleep on him. He beat Diego, and but again, Diego is young. He's hungry, and just the same as I was saying about Jon Dodson and Rory McDonald and all these new up and comers. They're so well rounded, you know, in every facet of mixed martial arts. I believe Diego Nunes is in that mix, and it's going to do it for now. I know it's not the best video in the world, but UFC on Fox 5, I had to do a video about it because it definitely exceeded my expectations. Let me know what you think down here in the comment section. Like, dislike, doesn't matter to me. As long as you hit view, you're cool with me. And all my subscribers, much love. Don't think I don't know who you are, because I do pay attention, and I sincerely appreciate it with all my heart. So does my wife and my 2 beautiful kids. You guys are awesome. You rock, and do my best to keep you informed. And you know, if I'm not doing that, let me know. I'm always looking for ways to better myself, my information, the way it's delivered. Let me know. Put in the comment section, and take care of each other, guys.